And, of course, the government shutdown still continues to throw people out on the streets.
It does?
Well, I haven't seen any coverage on that.
I haven't seen any either.
That's weird.
It's weird because how many of these have we been through, Glenn, over the years? An uncountable amount.
Oh, and before they even start, they are at the food banks going, there's not enough food in the food bank.
Yeah.
These people are going to be starving within, 2 days.
If you happen to have a fetish for single moms, great way to find them. Watch the shutdown coverage. They'll always find new single moms in your area that are about to have their economies crushed because of this oncoming government shutdown every single time except
this time.
This one.
Well, I know
I haven't met anyone yet.
I have. I listened to the New York Times last week.
Okay.
And they were talking about how much they love the military.
And how that's believable.
And how concerned they are for all of these military moms who are now struggling to make ends meet. Even though the president paid the military, and the Republicans continue to keep presenting a bill that says pay the military.
Right.
We can argue about everything else. You've got to keep national defense going, pay the military, and they won't do it.
Democrats keep rejecting that bill.
Over and over and over again.
And that kind of leads me to my thesis here, Glenn. Tell me if you think there's anything to it, which is the reason we haven't met any of the sob stories that we always meet during government shutdowns is because this one, the quote-unquote Democrats are responsible for it. Normally, they blame the Republicans for it. This time, it's almost impossible to come up with a coherent argument to make that happen.
So may I express this a different way?
Sure.
The mainstream media is just a propaganda organ for the Democratic Party?
Oh, yes. Maybe that's it.
It could be.
Maybe that is it.
Yeah.
Because I'm fascinated by that. Because I've always found that to be kind of silly, right? Like, you can always find individual people who are going through a tough time based on any policy.
You close it for 3 days. It's not been. Isn't this the longest shutdown in history? I think
not yet. No, but it is. Let's see if there's
since when. Since when? I've not seen one go this long.
There's one in Trump's administration. First administration was 35 days, I believe, which was the record. The longest record was 35 days. Kalshi has a market on this to see, which is interesting. 55% chance it goes over 35 days.
Oh, I think he could go through Christmas.
Well, it's hard to. You think it's Christmas?
I think the Democrats are. As long as the Democrats will not negotiate, the Republicans keep saying, "Okay, look, we'll fund it, and let's just go." But we're not adding new stuff, and we're not cutting laws that were just passed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we'll just fund this and let's continue to work it out. They won't even do that. It's like Friday, I think, was the 12th vote that they had held. And Democrats are just like, nope, doesn't matter.
And they're promising votes on their stupid healthcare requests. Yeah. Like they're trying to give things.
Yeah, we'll give you the vote on healthcare.
What will stop this, though, right? The only thing that stops these things are perceived political consequences. And so right now, what you have is a situation where, in theory, they could, maybe the American people decide it's the Republicans' fault, it's Trump's fault. Mm-hmm. But Trump is not typically like a guy who folds to that type of pressure. No. At times, he will give to his own side. Like, he said stuff like, well, you take the guns first and then we'll have the trials. Right. And like the people, Second Amendment people were like, no, that's not the right order there. Yeah. And to his credit, he listened to his constituents and sort of changed on that. We've seen situations like that. Very rarely, though, do you see, hey, the media is complaining a lot about Donald Trump. He's going to change what he's saying. If anything, it makes him double and triple down on it.
I think that they wanted to have the No Kings. Remember, they kept saying all week, we're going to get to the No Kings, we're going to get to the No Kings. Nobody was talking about the government shutdown of the No Kings thing. That wasn't the point of the No Kings thing.
Right. It wasn't being covered at all.
The Democrats got no gain out of that.
No
gain.
And that's the other side of this, which is typically the way this might work, is Democrats start this over a policy concern, like Republicans have done this. They've started a shutdown over a policy concern. And at some point, when it doesn't seem like the policy concern is going to be resolved, they start feeling pressure that they were the ones that are holding the government closed. They start feeling the public pressure and they fold. That's usually what Republicans wind up doing in these situations. The issue here, though, is number one, They're not getting any pressure from the media. That's not being built at all. So there's no pressure against the Democrats to actually fold on this issue. The only pressure that exists for the Democrats is to hold the line, because what they're getting is pressure from their left flank saying, hey, you guys better not give in to Donald Trump. So the length of this shutdown seemingly could be a very long period, because really the only crack you're seeing right now are, I will say, some on the right who are saying, actually, we should give a bunch of subsidies for Obamacare. There are some on the right doing that. And that is, I think, the only crack we've seen on either side so far.
I would really like to see in this time somebody in the Republican side making the case about Obamacare and freeing up the medical system.
Yeah, we're not seeing much of that at all.
Why do they not have another plan? This is the time. This is the time. No, I shouldn't say. Every day since 2009 has been the time to have this plan. And they never do it.
They've had bits and pieces of stuff, but that's not even what their desire is. And
I talked to Dr. Oz. I mean, I know.
It's a very strange sentence, but go ahead.
I know. Talk to Dr. Oz, and I know at HHS they are working on plans to dismantle a lot of this stuff and put the free market back in charge. But they're doing it at the state level. I got to have him back on because, I mean, nobody paid attention to this. I had an interview with him, and just everybody paid attention to some other thing he was talking. Oh, the jab, and why we would partner with what was it, Moderna or whoever here recently, for the drugs, or Pfizer for the drug discount. Everybody paid attention to that. In that same interview, he was talking about going to the states and tying their money, their government funding for Medicaid and Medicare, tying that directly to ending this hostage situation with, no insurance over state lines. Once they allow the whole country and insurance companies to offer plans over the whole country, the dynamics change entirely. The financial incentives, the payouts, everything changes. And that's supposed to be happening in the next 30, 40 days, and we'd see it over the next year. I would love to see them start to come up with new plans. Why is that face? You have this face.
No, I'm looking at me. I'm listening to you, but also looking at just something I'm noticing on these markets for how long the shutdown will last.
Yeah.
So it has been, like, I'm looking at over 40 days, for example. It has been a slow and steady rise. Like at the beginning, it was 10% chance it would go over 40 days. Slow and steady rise all the way up to a 55%, 57% chance as of 5 hours ago. In the last 5 hours, it's dropped from 57 to 38. Now,
what is that?
Famously, there's a lot of people on these markets. A lot of people who know a lot about these things in these markets. We saw we've seen many things happen, like who's going to play at the, who's going to play, who is going to win the Nobel Prize was one of them. Person who was like not barely even listed at like 1% suddenly in the last few hours just kind of shot up. Like somebody who knows something was in there buying. All of a sudden, multiple of these markets, more than 35 days has also dropped from 70% as of 5 hours ago.
I am not seeing anything in the news at all. So that's inside information.
It could be. It could just be somebody guessing. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's a big bet to guess. There's, these markets have, decent liquidity. Kind of interesting, Glenn. I don't know. That's it could be absolutely nothing, but like this market has had over $13 million bet on it. And how long these things go. So to move them,
that's a lot of money.
Sometimes can be a lot of money. Yes, it depends.
The other thing, what is gold? Is it still at 43.25 today? What it was this morning. I mean, that is just that should take people's
43.63.
43.63.
I mean, you want to talk about a chart that is consistent. It's consistent up movement from the beginning of 2024 till today, but really, rocket ship up in the last 3 months.
This is the world saying things are changing. That's the thing you have to take from that, is the world is saying the financial center will not hold as far as the way we have set up the entire world, with America being the big mover and shaker. When Biden went in and said we're going to take all these assets from Russia, he violated that system. We're no longer going to let them use the SWIFT system. All of that began this unraveling. Something is happening. This is big money saying something big is coming, and I want to be prepared for it. And it's disturbing. You should keep your eye on gold. That is a disturbing sign of instability. I can't at this point go any further than that. And I hope that it slows down or stops or reverses itself. We do not want $5,000 gold. And Goldman Sachs came out, I think last week, $6,000, was it $6,000 or $7,000 gold in the next year.